People give Kung Fu Panda 3 a lot of shit, but I just rewatched the entire original Kung Fu Panda trilogy in preparation for the fourth movie, and 3 is not nearly as bad as people would make you think it is. The third movie is the weakest of the trilogy, but it's nowhere near a bad movie, and it acted as a very good conclusion to the story. And then the fourth movie came along. Now, there really didn't need to be a fourth movie because the third one ended things perfectly, but hey, the fourth movie, it looks like it had potential. There's the new villain that's bringing back all the other old villains. Now bring back people whose stories have ended, especially dead characters, can go very, very wrong. Ninjago crystallized taught me that, but it can be done right. The movie did have the potential, but it also had a fucking fart joke. The entire original trilogy did not have a single fart joke until this movie, so the fourth movie really didn't have a great first impression with the first trailer, because the first trailer and kind of every other trailer of the movie made it look not very good. And yeah, the movie wasn't very good, so yeah, the trailers were actually accurate. Also, yes, this video will have spoilers. Now, Kung Fu Panda 4 isn't terrible. It's decent, I guess, but it doesn't even hold a candle to any of the movies from the original trilogy. It's easily the least funny of them all, too. The jokes are hit or miss. There are some pretty funny jokes, though. Like, the thieves helping for the wrong reasons was pretty funny, but a lot of the jokes miss. Now, let's talk about the villain, the Chameleon. I think it was cool having a girl villain since all the villains in the original trilogy were guys, but the Chameleon feels undercooked. She's not terrible, but just serviceable, I guess. I feel like she could have been a lot better. She did have a lot of potential, but they didn't really do anything with any of that potential. Her motivation also makes no sense. She said that she wanted to become a kung fu master, but every dojo turned her away because she was too small. One of the Furious Five, some of the most well-known powerful martial artists, is a fucking mantis. What the hell is she talking about? What are the writers on? Her defeat is also super anticlimactic. This movie's trailers are very misleading. They make it look like the Chameleon is going to bring back all opposed villains at the beginning of the movie, and a lot of the movie is going to be focused on that, but no. That happens in like the last 25 minutes of the movie, and Shen and Kai don't even talk because I guess they didn't feel like paying the voice actors. Like, bitch, you're telling me that Kai and Shen have absolutely nothing they wanted to say to Po? Like, get out of here with that shit. Speaking of people not talking, the Furious Five don't say a single word in the entire movie, and they only show up during the credits. Instead of them, we get this fox girl that I genuinely do not remember the name of, and I do not care enough to Google it. I think it was a decent twist that the fox girl was evil the whole time. I didn't see it coming for most of the movie, but I figured it out like 5 minutes before the twist was revealed. But it really doesn't make that much sense. The fox girl just needed to steal a staff. There were multiple opportunities to do that, but she didn't so they could have the dramatic reveal. I wish they had explored the fox girl and the chameleon's relationship more. The fox girl is supposed to be her protege or something, but it doesn't really feel like that. It's another thing that could have been really interesting, but it just isn't. I honestly wish the fox girl had just stayed evil because that would have been way more interesting. The fox girl just isn't interesting. There's probably going to be a fifth movie, and I really wish they could just write her out of it, but considering Po made her the new Dragon Warrior, that's not really possible. Tai Lung is here, and he fortunately talks, but something about him feels off. I don't really know how to describe it, but something about him just doesn't feel right. That being said, he is still entertaining. Tai Lung saying that he didn't even know who he was voting for and he was so confused was probably my favorite joke in the movie. Do you guys know how there were all those Kung Fu Panda TV shows? Kung Fu Panda 4 feels like a high-budget TV movie for one of those shows. Speaking of budget, Kung Fu Panda 4 was like an $80 million movie, but it somehow feels cheap. Like the Furious Five barely being in it and not talking because they didn't feel like paying the voice actors. Same thing with Kai and Shen. Also, this is a nitpick, but it really annoys me. So in the first movie, Oogway gave his staff to Shifu, but it broke in the first movie. In the second and third movie, Shifu has the staff and he put a thing on it to keep it together. But in the fourth movie, the staff is just fixed somehow, and the thing that's supposed to be holding it together just isn't there. The fourth movie also feels like it got rid of a lot of Po's character development. Like, he learned inner peace in the second movie after overcoming his trauma. That was the entire lesson of the second movie, but in the fourth movie, he can't find inner peace and it's just played off as a joke. Also, in the third movie, Po learned how to take on new roles in his life, But in the fourth movie, it just completely ignores that Poe has already learned that lesson. Poe having to find a successor is an interesting concept, and that could have worked, but they just don't do enough with it. Also, this is another nitpick, but it was established in the third movie that Mr. Pink can fly, but in the fourth movie, he can't really fly anymore for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it would be cruel to make you fly back.
You can fly? I'm a bird, Paul.
The fourth movie is harmless. It doesn't do anything so terrible. It ruins the franchise or anything. It's just not very good, though. Not terrible, just eh. It fails to justify its own existence. I've heard people say that the fourth movie is at least better than the third movie, and I get opinions are a thing, but like, did we watch the same movies? The third movie is miles ahead of the fourth movie. Anyway, yeah, the movie's just mediocre.